Okay, guys, let's see. Hopefully, y'all can hear me because I'm not hearing a response back from you guys. So that's an interesting one for me. So let's see. As people start jumping on, let me know if you can hear me. I think I can hear you. The speaker's on, the sound is on, volume's up. I know there's so many things to check. So, whenever you're ready, I will kind of talk to you about kind of like I said, my part of this. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Kind of the interesting part is being on four different platforms at the same time. That can be a little bit daunting at times in a weird, cool way. Um, Thank you so much for letting me know on Instagram. It's one of those thank you, Louise. So, kind of the interesting part about being on like four different platforms all at the same time is kind of a very strange phenomena, but it's kind of also cool because I get to connect to so many different people, but you only get to see the people that are necessarily on the same platform you are. So, that's kind of one of those fun things. So, okay, let me go through some of the rules. So, even when people do readings for me, I will tell them these are kind of the rules. Don't ask how she or he or that person likes something because it's unclear. Not only to me, it's also unclear to your angels and guides who are kind of telling me the answer to the question. So, if you like, some people will say, like, I want to know how he likes this. Well, I need to know who he is, unless there's only one he in your life, and then you can answer that question. But everybody usually giggles with that. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's kind of one of those interesting ones. So that's kind of the fun part about it. And I always tell people, ask your question really clear. I really don't, kind of interesting, like I don't require all of the backstory. Sometimes people are like, okay, let me tell you the whole backstory. And it's like not necessary. As long as your question is really clear, that's all I need. All I need is one clear question. But sometimes people are like, well, let me tell you back and da 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 da. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's a little bit crazy. But I will tell you that kind of the fun part about it is because I'm connecting to so many different people on different platforms, that's why I use my angel cards to connect with people because it makes it a little bit easier because a lot of times you're connecting to my energy, what I get is like one person may be asking a question, but someone else is thinking about a question. So then it's kind of like who's asking the question and what question are they really being clear about? So I'll hear like multiple questions. So that's where the angel cards come in of like when you ask a clear question, kind of like coming in really clear on that side of like, hey, this is what I want to know. Or I get asked all kinds of interesting questions too. Lately, I will tell you that more than anything else, the questions I have been asked about for a long time, I would say it was more like angels. How many angels do I have? How many guides do I have? That sort of thing. Lately, I've been getting way more questions about like past lives. So a lot more questions about like past lives. How many past lives have I had? Where did I live? That sort of thing. So those can be really interesting. Although on this platform, that's kind of difficult because it's one of those like it takes a long time to get all of that information forward. I will tell you that kind of one of the fun ones. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you. I enjoyed Valentine's Day. We got to go to a city meeting, which was really interesting for our area. But really, angel cards can connect you to so many different energies. And like the best part is finding a deck that you really love. Now, this is my absolute favorite deck. And I've had this deck for quite a while. That's kind of one of those. I love this deck. It is, I want to say like over 20 years old. I hate to say that, but I love this deck. I love the energy in the deck, but I also do have some other cards that I have been doing lately, probably in the last year or so, kind of. Okay, Natbug, what's your question? How come the cards? Give me a real question. I'll answer it. Even if it's not a psychic question, I'll answer your question. Is it question about the cards? Because I think cards are really cool and can really assist you kind of getting the cards. How come the cards? Because it's easier to connect to one person's energy at a time, and it helps me stay focused. So that sort of thing. But I also do, I will say, Um, yes, the cards are amazing. These, like I said, I've had a deck like this for about 20 years. I was so fortunate last year that a friend of mine was moving her mom out of a house, and her mom had an older deck that was these and handed them to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love. Like, thank you so much. I love angel ones. This is an angel oracle deck that I like. I have small hands, and so that helps to kind of like um, be able to connect and everything else. If I had bigger hands, like, I mean, some people can really toss them around and that sort of thing. I'm really cautious with my cards in that perspective, so I don't really toss them around too much. But I do like my angel card decks. That makes it really, really easy. So Chelsea is asking for an angel card for her baby, and the card I get is harmony, and that's kind of what the baby feels most of the time, is this very harmonious energy, and really enjoys like being around like the family, the other people, that sort of thing. Especially when mom is harmonious, then the baby's harmonious, and that's kind of the fun part. So they love to connect with that energy. And I have small hands, Nat, and it's one of those like, this is a deck, like I said, it's nice because it's not as big. Some of the tarot decks have a lot of cards, and so it's hard to kind of like throw the cards around. Karen, I would love to answer your question. I can pull a card for your son, but is there a particular question you have about your son? I'm going to give you a second to answer that one. But I think angel cards are like my favorite. Now, I've done several videos on like how to pick out an angel card deck, which angel cards, like how to body test your angel cards, kind of that sort of thing, because it's very personal. And once you get like addicted to your deck, is he coming home soon? Okay. I get a no, and I'm going to get you an answer why, Karen. I get spiritual growth as the question, and I feel like feels like he's still in growth, or he's still changing and not ready to come back. So I don't feel like he's coming back right away. I do feel like he's kind of still in a growth or spiritual growth pattern at this point. I wonder if he's in the military, because I get like a military connection, or is it someone else? Kind of like, I don't know why I get like a military connection. So I'm kind of like, interesting. But angel cards, and it's really important, I think, when you get an angel card deck, to really connect your deck, clear your deck often, and that sort of thing. Kind of that energy, kind of connecting with that energy really, really well, is much easier when you have like your own deck that doesn't have everybody else's energy on it. So let's see. Sandra is asking, should I move in with Jalen? Is this a good fit? I get a no. It may be a good fit for a period of time, but I don't feel like it's a good fit for a long period of time, Sandra. And I get like there's a balance. There's if when you move in, there's not going to be a balance unless y'all work really hard to keep that balance. But there's a balance that's not in like the place already. Maybe if you clear it and cleanse it, may help with that balance some. But it could also be the relationship, kind of like how the relationship is balanced out on its own, can be a really interesting energy as well. Okay, so Louise is asking, is my next job offer the right one for me? I get kind of a no, and there's kind of one that will come in soon. And I kind of feel like the job offer that you have right now, there's not a balance of power right now. And so people are kind of like fighting for that. Like, I want to be the boss, or I want to be in charge of things, but like there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians, I guess is the best way to put it. So like people are trying to fight for that position of power. And Luis, you're kind of over that, saying at this point in your life, you're kind of like, I'm over all this crazy stuff. But I do feel like there is going to be another job offer And I do feel like it may be contract because they're showing me signing contracts that are going to be coming in with some really good energy and not as many issues or problems. So let's see, on Instagram, Nat is asking, will I have some good fortune soon? Okay. Yes, Nat, you get good fortune soon. What I also get is that part of this is you're kind of hanging on. So you haven't surrendered and released kind of like the stuff that didn't work. And so that's really where it's kind of like holding you back at this point. So surrender and release the stuff that didn't work, kind of like, you know, you're hanging on to it like this didn't work and this didn't work and that didn't work. So that's kind of what you're dealing with now, is that energy of coming in with let it go, and it will come in with a much better energy. Plus, I will tell you, I have tons of videos coming out in March, March coming in that are talking about like how to amp up your energy, how to kind of change your thoughts and your thinking and that sort of thing. And those can really help to kind of bring in that adjustment of like, let go of what didn't work so you can kind of open up. Because if you're hanging on to the past, you can't really let that go. You're like holding it onto it so tight that nothing else can come in. So letting that go will be a really powerful thing for you to kind of let things go. And so you can kind of open up to the new stuff. And that's for anybody. I mean, even if you're not Irish or anything else, like as we get closer to March, people are talking about like, it's St. Patrick's Day and it's so lucky and that sort of thing. And so that really just really amps up that energy. Hi, Miss Linda. Like that amps up that energy of just like being lucky. Linda, if you want to post your question, you're more than welcome to. Make sure you do not use words like his or hers. It really makes it unclear. Make sure you put someone's first name, at least a first name. I don't need anything else but that, but make sure your question is really clear. But bringing in good energy is something that a lot of people really want to connect to right now. We also kind of on the cool part is we have Jupiter in the sign of Aries, and all of that is like good luck and good luck. And so that's going to be bringing in a lot more good luck, but you have to let go of the old stuff so you can be open to the new stuff. That's going to be really, really powerful for a lot of people of like moving into that energy quicker, faster, easier. If you hang on to the old stuff, like this didn't work, that sort of thing, it never helps. It never lets things go, and it never really opens up as well as it could or should. And that is just one of those things that like, hey, we really need to fix this or modify this. So let me answer a question. I've got a question on Twitter for John. And John, your question is all about guardian angels. And I will say that kind of like your guardian angel has the message for you of getting clear of what's gone wrong. It's one of those like you're trying to do analysis or trying to change things without understanding what went wrong to begin with. So Linda, I need to know the first name of your partner. If you would do that, would be really great. It's one of those like your guardian angel has messages of moving forward, coming into like a very enlightened period of time. And I also get like there may be some past life issues that are coming up as well. That makes a much easier energy than anything else. And I think that's kind of the fun part. Now, I will tell you that one of the cards that I get for Linda, but I also get like, this is like multiple questions. Like there are miracles in play right now. As we start getting closer to St. Patrick's Day, we get closer to the end of February going into March. This really amps up a lot of miracles being, if you believe in miracles, it will come in. That's who I thought it was. I'm getting that like more and more, but Jim is opening up miracles for you, Linda, but I will tell you that he's opening them up very quickly and you have to be ready to take advantage of them. But it's almost like he's serving them to you. Like here, these are the miracles that I can hand to you. And that energy comes in with a lot of amazing energy that he believed in, or kind of maybe you believed in, kind of like, interesting. Because he's telling me he believes now, but I don't know if he believed earlier. And that may be a no. Okay. So kind of the next card for everybody joining in is all about like emerging energies. And I get this a lot. I've kind of gotten a lot of messages with this, and this is what their angels and guides are showing me is the message is right now there is a lot of emerging energies, a lot of abilities that people didn't believe they even had a year ago, coming in very, very um, kind of crazy energy. So it's kind of like that energy is shifting and changing, but there's a lot of emerging energies coming in right now, and a lot of energies of people really desiring to clear up a lot of past life issues, a lot of current life, like childhood stuff or issues or traumas that went on. And I get this a lot with a lot of other people as well. So I kind of get like that's kind of an emerging energy, kind of like it's coming out so it can be healed and move forward. So let me read this. This is from Nat on Instagram. Oh, you're very welcome. She's telling me like a year ago, I told her that it was you were right about my ex-husband Larry. Him and I divorced the following year. Thank you for your input. I'm so glad, Nat, that I could assist you in that way. I am excited. I am hopefully coming back out to Arizona. I am looking forward to going to Arizona. I haven't been out there in a couple of years with all of the COVID stuff, but I am really excited about coming back to Arizona. I miss my Arizona people. I miss kind of doing my stuff out there. I loved going to several of the crystal and the rock shops out there. That's my favorite things to do. Let's see. But I also just miss my clients out there. I've been able to connect with several of them over the last couple of years, but that's really the kind of the energy with like clearing things out and moving through things. So Sandra's asking how often should meditate daily. People should be meditating daily. It doesn't take hours to meditate. 10 to 15 minutes a day, maybe in the morning or the evening, will really kind of balance your energy a lot, and being able to kind of balance the energy. Balancing your energy is probably better than anything else, and that's really what kind of what meditation does. Is a lot of times like we're like more on this mental side, like mentally we've got to think about this, we've got to do this, we've got to go here and that sort of thing, and our spiritual side is kind of like it's kind of laying low. But when you kind of like meditate, it's kind of slowing down the mental side and allowing that spiritual side to soar. And the more often you do this, the easier things get. Even doing a 10 or 15 minute meditation a couple of times a day will really change your whole energy. Nat saying like, I'm not there anymore. Moved to Buffalo, New York. I miss Arizona. It's so much fun. Like it's the people are so much fun. It's very, it kind of reminds me of like here at home, like everybody's like very friendly, very easygoing. And then it's kind of just been interesting, like just the energy there, like the energy from the land. And I usually go to Mesa, Arizona is where I end up going. And I love the energy in the land. It is so much fun. And kind of like checking out things around there. So I always had a great time. Hopefully I'll be able to get that in. I'm hoping sometime maybe late August, early September. That'll be not only good for me, but like kind of good to reconnect with my clients because I miss them so much. Okay, so Margaret is asking on Facebook, I'm waiting for a new job, but that's not really a question, Margaret. That's more of a statement. Yeah, it's one of those, that's more of a statement, Margaret. Do you have a question for me? I'll answer your question. But let me just pull a generic card. This one is coming forward. So this is just a generic card that popped out. And I will say, I'm waiting on your question, Margaret. So study. If you find a psychic ability that you have or energy that you know what I'm saying, like do research. Don't just like let it go by the wayside. Do the research. There are so many videos out there. There are so many people that you can connect with or do a reading with and kind of like studying that energy so you can understand your own abilities. And I think that is probably the best answer I have for most people is get into a class, get into a group of people. And that's really can be a fun area of getting to know people that have maybe not necessarily the same exact abilities you do, but have similar abilities can make the kind of the difference between the two. I think that's one of those special ones. Okay, so Sandra on Facebook is asking, what is the difference between oracle cards and tarot cards? Tarot cards, it's kind of like oracle cards are basically trying to connect with oracle energy, which is connected to your angels and guides. Now, tarot cards are literally, I kind of put it this way, if you are new into all of this, tarot cards is what you should stay away from. And the best way to do that is kind of like the tarot cards are kind of like, if you remember, if you're a little bit older, kind of like picking up the phone and just hitting any numbers, like a party line, like, like literally let me just pick up the phone and dial random numbers and see who I get on the other side. That is like a tarot card. So if you are strong enough, you can do tarot cards. But if you are not strong enough, it is what you really need is like angel oracle cards or angel cards, because they're made with like a much easier energy to connect to. And that's going to make the difference of making sure that you're talking to the people that you really want to talk to on the other side. If not, it can get a little crazy because you'll get like weird answers for things or things that like don't really make any difference. So it's kind of like the intention that was put in with them when they were made, what comes out in them when they are out. So kind of that kind of energy as well. That is kind of the fun part of all of this. And kind of like, what is the energy of the cards? I often tell people, try several different things that will like angel cards. I personally have like 3 or 4 decks myself. Now I have a whole bunch more because for my classes, so I do that a lot. So the angel cards for my classes I have a lot of them, even if they're ones I wouldn't really necessarily pick, or the energy. Like I have one that's mermaids. I'm not really into mermaids, so that wouldn't be one that I would really necessarily go into. Okay, so Carmen is asking, Karen is asking, will my health improve? And I get there's a lot of improvement still to be done, but there's telling me that there's ideas and inspirations, and your angels and guides are telling me that they have been giving you ideas and inspirations, and you're not following through. So it's one of those, like, you're not like following the instructions, like, hey, I need to look this up. So maybe even going back to the previous card of study. So like when you get a message of one of the cards, trying to get the glare off of them, one of the cards, like make sure that you're studying that information, or what do I require knowing about this, or doing some research to kind of get you that next step. But they're telling you, we're giving you ideas and inspiration. Like you'll hear the same message in a movie or something like that, but you're not taking the ideas that they're sending you or taking you anywhere. So it's kind of like, okay, we're sending you the messages, but you're not really listening. That's really hard for them. They don't like not to be listened to. The next card I pull for everybody is about freedom. Freedom is something that's very personal. Everybody has like a different item or what they think. Okay. I also see Margaret's question, so hold on. So everybody has like freedom that they want or what they are looking for. I will tell you that with the planets kind of moving into alignment for March, freedom is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be asking for, or almost even demanding at some point. So I do feel like that is something that's really coming forward. Okay, so Margaret's question is, will my new job be the best one for me? I get retreat. It's one of those, your old job was one that you really required a retreat from, like a step back from. And there was a lot of conflict energy around. So everybody kind of like had conflicts at different times, or I don't like this one, or I'm not talking to this person. So there was always like that conflict energy around. So that's something that really made things go. But I do feel like this new job will be much better for you, a much better energy. But a lot of that has to do with the boss, I'm saying, like above everybody else. Like they're not going to deal with a lot of that crazy stuff. So that really helps in that perspective. So my next one is for, okay, so Rock Solid is asking, and they're on YouTube. let's see, been in a funk for a while. When will things turn around? And I get playfulness and everything else. Things will turn around, but you're allowing the funk to stay longer than it should. And what you need to add is your playfulness. You have a lot of playfulness in you, a lot of fun that you're really requiring in your life, but you're not allowing it in. And because of that, it's kind of like you're staying in that funk. Get up, do something that you love at least once a day. Do things that you really love to do is going to change your life in immense ways. And I will tell you that I'm one of those. I'm one of those that I can get in a funk, especially in Houston, when we have like those gray days that just kind of never get over. They just kind of keep coming at you over and over again. So on those gray days, that's when I get into my funk a little bit. And so getting out and doing something that's playful, something that's exciting, can change your life completely. So make sure that you're adding that fun. To me, sometimes just coloring at the coffee table can be a fun activity to do. Doing my crafts or something that I love to do. Those sort of things can really change your energy in so many different ways of getting out of the funk and getting things changed around. Now, I also feel like, hold on, where am I at? Okay. Rock solid. So what I get for you is that a lot of times, like you may be thinking about medicine, or you may be thinking that there's a medicine that would work for you. There's actually not any. If you're on medication, it's not the right dosage for you. So I would tell you that this is something to kind of be careful of. It may be kind of keeping you in the funk instead of getting you out of the funk. So let's, okay. I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I'm going to pull one last card for everybody. This is kind of like the fun one. I'm going to do one last card for everybody. What I get is the card blessings. And I think this is kind of the fun part is blessings are all around us. Just like I was talking about, like all of the energy from St. Patrick's Day, all of that energy is always in play around us. It's always there. Now it's going to amp up because so many people believe in like, oh, I'm lucky, I'm Irish or whatever it is. And that literally amps up our energy in so many different ways. This is a really good one. So make sure that, like that energy is around you. Make sure that you have those blessings and make sure you connect to it. Now, like I said, I have tons and tons of videos coming out now until like St. Patrick's Day, all about like changing your energy, changing your luck, all that kind of stuff, and amping things up, and even getting a higher vibration of your own energy. Rock solid, that would be one for you to like just kind of like get out of the funk and let's change this up, because it's like catching this amazing energy when it starts and it's already just barely beginning. So this is a great time to be at the beginning of that and have this energy that keeps going, can amping you up, keeping your energy high and changing your vibrations. It's going to help in so many different ways. I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I'm so excited. I'm so thankful that y'all joined me. I will be on, like for right now, we are trying to do one a week, one Thursday Night Live a week. And so I am so, sending everybody that Nat is saying, send good energy to everyone. I am sending amazing energy to each of you. Make sure you keep up with me, and I will see y'all again next Thursday night. I'm so excited to see you guys. Y'all have a great one.